All right, well, yeah, thanks everybody for making it out to this meeting. My name's Blake Aaron, for those that haven't had the opportunity to introduce myself to. I work with Esperin Associates. We're actually the engineering consultant for the town. We're also the designers and contract administrators for the upcoming reconstruction of Peter Road.
Myself, I'm Tim Moss, Director of Development and Operations for the town of Shelburne.
I'm Alice Bile, I'm the Deputy Clerk. I'm just here to assist with your technology.
She's the most important.
You need a pretty face up there.
Yeah.
This will look a little.
So just quickly, what we're going to talk about today. One, just project background and objectives, why we're doing this work, where we're at right now, and what to expect moving forward. Two, construction schedule, how long you expect to be impacted basically from construction. Three, impacts to residents. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions about that throughout the whole process. And then we also want to talk about environmental and property protections that the town is implementing, and will be monitoring and taking care of during the construction period. Then future project updates, we'll just kind of give a brief summary of how updates will be communicated to the residents throughout the whole project. Then question and answer period at the end. So project background, Pinegrove Avenue reconstruction it is in the 2026 capital budget. It's being funded through three separate pots of funding: the OCIF fund, municipal gas tax, and the LTD fund, which is the town reserves. I think it's been on kind of been talked about for years now, like you said. So it's glad to see it, I guess, finally go to construction. Work to date, so you've probably all seen it. There's been some pre-engineering work that's already been completed. So the geotechnical investigation was done last fall. That included drilling boreholes just to record the soil conditions and also groundwater conditions that play a big role during construction. CCTV videoing of the sewer mains, just to assess the existing condition of what's below grade. And then topographic survey was also completed, which also is our grading design and make sure everything works at the end of the day in terms of drainage. Engineering was finalized this spring. And actually the contract is out for RFP right now, so it's publicly advertised, and that's expected to close May 10th, I believe. So we're pretty close to that contract. Quick summary of the scope. Obviously, a full road reconstruction, including replacement of the existing water main and sanitary sewer. Then urbanizing the whole street. So construction of curb and gutter, catch basins, underground storm sewer, and then obviously all the restorations to your boulevards and driveways that need to be done to make sure everything is going to look pretty for everyone. So just, I guess, more in depth to the scope is what I said is the project objectives. So number one is replace the aged underground infrastructure. So right now underground, the municipality owns and takes care of is the water main and sanitary sewer. Pinegrove Avenue was developed in the 1960s, so that's 60 years old now. First is the water main along Pinegrove Avenue. So it's actually old cast iron water main. Cast iron was common for that time period. It typically has a lifespan of 40 to 100 years, and there's that big variance because it's largely based off of soil conditions and groundwater conditions. Regardless, cast iron is highly susceptible to fracturing because of corrosion, and it's very rigid, so there's no real flexibility to the pipe. I think there's still a bunch of cast iron throughout town.
We have a lot of it that we're looking at rehab possibilities for. So
yeah, as you can see, it's kind of hard to tell from this photo, but that is actually from the water main break that happened just outside there on Main Street. I don't know if you remember that.
Which time?
I think that was the first time.
The first one.
But yeah, that was obviously what can happen with the water main break, and that one was actually, I think, like a 2-foot fracture that kind of went longitudinal with the water main, which was bad.
And pretty well the length of the pipe, so.
Yeah. The existing sanitary sewer is actually asbestos cement pipe. So just a note, when that pipe is removed, there's full abatement procedures that the contractor has to follow. So that pipe will be thrown into bags and thrown into special bins, just so there's no extra of the asbestos. There's no, it obviously lasts a lot longer than cast iron pipe. But during our video investigation, this bottom photo is actually a picture or a screenshot of sanitary sewer. We think that was grout that kind of flowed into the sanitary sewer, probably from an old attempt at repairing one of the service laterals. But obviously that is concerning for future backup. So that's why Dave's mentioned it. We might as well replace it while the full road's under construction. So it's fully being replaced. All the manholes are being replaced. The second one is just to improve the right-of-way drainage and the road conditions. You guys have see the road every day. Yeah, it's obviously in shape. The asphalt is falling apart. It's needed help for a long time, I imagine.
It's better now than it was in the winter time.
It was a lot of yeah. Yeah, the bottom photo is obviously drainage back up. It's water's not getting away anywhere. So,
Swimming pool.
yeah. Does it ever back up onto the road in that corner?
No, it is not. A couple of weeks ago, it was right up to the top.
Really?
Yeah.
Historically, it has done that, hasn't it? That
Yeah,
corner
like,
has flooded on.
Well, right on the corner, yes, but it's built up now.
Okay.
A few years
There's a
ago.
nice drain there.
They dug it in.
I know.
For some reason we don't dig it out now.
Well,
That'll be solved.
It's getting dug out now.
yeah. It will, yeah. So just warning, I guess. So just with the grading of the road, the homes on the south side they actually sit below the road in some locations, so it's pretty tough to get. Well, you can't get the drainage to the road completely, so yard drains will have to be installed in the boulevards at several locations on the south side. They're about 15 inches diameter, and they're flush with the ground, so you won't even notice they're there, but they will collect that yard runoff. Then, yeah, like I mentioned before, it's we are installing full curb and gutter with urbanized storm infrastructure. So that will keep obviously all that road runoff in the road and collected. So yeah, no more swimming pools in your front yards moving forward. Sorry, just quickly back. I just wanted to mention 2 coats of asphalt. The base layer will be done kind of late summer, early fall. It's just good practice to let it sit for a full winter to go through a freeze thaw. In case there is any movement in the base, that way it can be repaired the following spring, and then top coat will be next spring, which is pretty common. Oh, sorry, back again. I also just wanted to mention, so the construction will go into the boulevard areas, including removals of your driveways to property line. We will replace the driveways to what is there already. So if someone wrote in saying they paid a bit extra to do 2 coats of asphalt just because they have trailers and trucks and stuff like that, we'll put 2 layers back.
We have cement curbs that go down to the road now. What's gonna happen with them?
They will be gone.
Oh, but
You mean
Gone
you cut
today.
them off?
Yeah. So
Ask
I'll
on
do what
Honda
is
Steel.
look at what you're talking about, just to fully understand. There is a couple like retaining walls around the existing culverts. There's like some nice stone and stuff, like we will obviously not take that away if anyone wants to salvage anything, that's another
Okay,
area.
That's good.
Yeah.
So if there was like even bushes or things growing, like as they're digging, if you're there, can you
Yeah.
save it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, just, I guess, let's talk and make sure that's coordinated between the contractor, because I can say that, but I'm not the one digging
Yes.
the ground up, so I
Yeah.
don't want, yeah. But no, we'll make that very clear.
Okay.
Like there's, so. Curving.
Oh, actually, do you know if that is on, public property at all?
yeah.
Okay.
Not much, but
Not much, but it's there. We could even not go all the way up to,
Well, we just want it sloped and looking kind of decent again when you're done, not just cut straight off and then.
no, what I mean is we won't even, we won't cut your driveway up that far. We can stop before the property line too. That way we don't touch the
Yeah.
curb, which I think is, yeah. Cause then you'll just have like a cold joint too, if we might not let it a little bit.
But then the sidewalk might be right over it, so.
Are you on the north side?
Won't trip anybody.
is that fixed?
Pardon me?
Is that a fixed? That
Sidewalk?
it be on the north side?
Yes, it is going on the north side, the sidewalk. It just works with the grading, to be honest, like this. No, I knew you were coming to it.
Hey, if you said you weren't gonna say anything, you owe me $20 already.
Yeah, so obviously sidewalks going in. It's just increasing the safety for pedestrians to use the road, so they're not actually walking on the road.
Geez, I mean, we've done this our whole lives.
I know.
The sidewalks will be the new standard width, wider than what they used to. Yeah.
Or 1.5 meters, it's standard,
Roads are 1.8 and the sidewalk's 1.5.
What's that?
At this turf. From the sidewalk. Well, it's wider than the sidewalk.
I'll have to double check with that, cause I know in a lot of the old areas, the sidewalks are only like a meter, 4 feet wide. But yeah, typical, do you know how wide the track is?
I think our standard's 1.8 width, but some of the older sections are 1.2, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get that.
Can I ask?
Yep.
So you're putting the sidewalks on the north side. How far from the property line will they be placed?
That's a good question. It is scaled off this drawing here. I believe it's about 2 meters off the property line.
How much?
2 meters, but I'll need to confirm.
So good,
'Cause
6 feet talking like that.
that's a really wide road.
It's a 20-meter right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll look that up. I don't want to misspeak. Yeah. So sidewalks on the north side, there'll be no parking on the north side. They'll be limited to.
No, we get the signs.
Yes.
As well,
Yeah,
Yeah. there's no
and
parking
the hydrants, and the poles.
yeah,
Yeah, people look at those.
yeah, we know.
I gotta go south.
We can put that right on those ugly poles.
Good idea. Save some money. So this is our construction schedule that we're looking at. Like we mentioned earlier, contract award late May, early June. With the contractor mobilizing mid-June, maybe earlier, depends when they want to get out there. It is a condition of the contract that they have to be substantially completed the project by the end of October. Underground work is likely going to be between mid-June to September. That September date may be shifted up. I just wanted to say that the longest they may take. Surface work will be September, October. And surface asphalt, like I said, it'll be spring of next year. And we will make sure all like the manholes are left at base asphalt, and they'll be raised next spring. They won't be left 2 inches above the ground.
Why you not do that? Rest of the town,
What's that?
say, why don't you do that? Rest of the town. You just this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the warranty period, standard, it lasts for a full year. So
The grates you'll have on the manhole covers, will they be wide that you can get your bicycle tires in? Will they be narrow that we don't get a
they're
bicycle
like
tire
a
in?
B-notch grade that we specify.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've seen those ones, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If you're a road bike
Or
or
even-
something, it's
Even a pet can get their paws stuck in the
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah.
I have both a bike and a pet, so.
And back to the residents, so I just wanted to obviously mention this, like, you will be living in a construction zone, there will be impacts, there's no way around it. Obviously, we will appreciate your patience, and we understand it's a frustrating time, so. That's why we're doing this, so we can obviously be transparent with everything and upfront and. Yeah. So work is allowed between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Friday. So there will be noise in the morning. Contractors may request to work Saturdays, but they have to come to the town for approval. Typically when contractors ask to work Saturdays, it's more for cleanup, stuff like that, where they're not making a lot of noise, because they probably don't have the amount of guys that want to work on a Saturday to do anything important, but it does happen, especially when we get closer to the end of the year, August, September. There will be temporary water service disruptions. We are replacing all the water services to property line and the water main. So when they do those switchovers from the old to the new service, there will be disruption in your water. That will be communicated to you 48 hours in advance for any water service disruption, and it will happen during the day. They typically take between 2 and 4 hours, but again, they can be pretty quick with the services. It's a quick swap. Driveways will be accessible at the end of each working day. That is requirements in the contract. That is probably what your driveway is going to look like for a few months. It'll be gravel ramp to I guess your property line. There will be times, say when they're pouring curb, that we ask that you don't drive obviously into your driveway. If there's anyone with mobility concerns, we will obviously make special provisions for you. A lot of the contractors that work in Shelburne, they're more than willing to help out. I know sometimes they can do half the driveway one day and the other half the next day, or even shuttle you from where you park your car to your house.
Just a question.
Yep.
The contractor, you don't know who that is yet. Is it gonna be local?
It is going to be local because we had a site visit actually yesterday, and it was a mandatory site visit. And it was all local guys. So yeah, that's kind of why we made it that way. Just
Very good.
so during state curbing, you can park on side streets or Greenwood Park. That parking lot there.
Could offer a shuttle service from Greenwood Park.
Big background. You could honestly park on the road too. You just might have a contractor knocking on your door at 7 a.m. the next day. Yeah.
Lately, and it's just been the last 2 weeks that I've noticed, we've got these big blue carts that we're going to have to get out.
All the bins. Yeah.
Yeah, for the recycling.
Okay. We'll have to talk with GFL, right, to make sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Because we will coordinate that. Either GFL will ensure that they can get down the road, or you guys bring it to the end of your driveway, and then the contractor and town will bring it to, I guess, outside of the construction zone, as what we've done in the past. So, yeah. So environmental protections, before any excavation or grading is done, we do ask that the contractor does set up several things just to kind of mitigate any potential erosion or sediment runoff into existing underground storm sewers and onto your properties. Typically, for this type of road, it'll just be these silt socks that you kind of put around catch basin grates or along your property line, and if there is runoff, the stalks are supposed to absorb that water and the sediment. We also, it's a requirement to establish tree protection zones for all the trees on private property and public property along all of Pinegrove. So that is typically just T-bar stakes with orange snow fence around it. There will be times where some of those tree protection zones will need to be accessed to do the service connections. Typically, what contractors do, they'll actually use vacuum trucks to do the excavation, so they won't actually be using like an excavator shovel that will damage roots and whatnot. And then they're also required to have certified arborists on site to kind of manage and monitor.
They don't work for highway.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
Before they actually start doing all that work, is there a chance we could actually get some kind of a line made so we know where the property lines are? Because we got bushes in front of our house. I don't know whether they're going to be on town property, whether they're on our property, because it's kind of iffy to know exactly where that line goes. Don't tell.
No, we can. Typically a contractor, before they do anything, they'll lay out all the projects, so they'll define property limits prior to. I know do you know where your water service box is?
Yes.
That's typically good. It's not always perfect, but it's a good guess of where your property line is.
Actually, ours is on the neighbor's property.
That's
We know where his property line is.
right. Yeah. No, we wouldn't.
Decided
With your neighbors, just yeah. So it's not anticipated, but if a tree does get damaged and needs to come down, it is the town's policy that they replace it with 2 trees.
2 for 1.
2 for 1 deal.
Yeah.
Obviously they won't be mature trees. They're 60 millimeter caliber size trees. So that's like a 6 centimeter diameter. I think it's measured 12 inches from the ground. It's like I think 10 or 12 foot tree typically. Property protection. So just to give everyone a heads up, prior to any work, there is a pre-condition survey that is pretty standard for these road reconstruction projects. So it's a third-party surveyor that does an inspection of your property and your home. They typically like to do an external and internal inspection of your house. It's really, the big thing is obviously foundations. If there is, and you can decline it by all means. But they just, it's good to have reference document to look back if anything does happen. That way it's recorded prior to any work being done. Obviously with sewer and water main work, there will be quite a bit of vibration. So it's, I'm sure people will be concerned about their foundations and the structure of their house. So that's why we do that survey. So yeah, that normally you'll probably get a notice on your door from a third party surveyor, and that's what that is. If you do think any property damage has happened to your home or vehicles, notify the town. And we really recommend that you take lots of photos and document everything. Typically, when insurance claims come to the town during construction projects, it does get forwarded to the contractor's insurance adjuster. And they deal directly with your insurance company. So yeah, and just it's really the contractor's responsibility to make sure all the work and construction area is safe for everyone living on the street through the entire period. So if you do notice any maniacs driving loaders around, like obviously let us know. And we'll have an inspector on site full time as well. So we'll be aware of everything and making sure all the work's being done safely. But yeah, it's important for everyone that they feel they can get to their house safely. So following contract award, there will be another letter circulated to everybody just with who's doing the work, when they're coming to site, and also some contact information for contractor, SBA, in the town, just so you know who you can reach out to if you do have concerns moving forward. So I said this previously, but any water service disruptions will be 48 hours written notice. Any driveway access will be notified to the town residents a full week in advance. We've had in the past where people are like moving and then contractors pouring curb that same day. So we just want to give you a full week's notice prior to. But obviously that date is weather dependent, so the exact date might not be locked in when that notice comes out. And yeah, thank you for your patience during construction, because yeah,
Just a question.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, quickly.
no, we're at questions.
So, yeah. Our driveway. Gonna get redone.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the reasons I waited till this was happening is that I'm gonna get cut off. So, do I talk to the contractor? How does this work?
If you want the full, like your private side done, yeah, you can make a deal with the contractor. That's the town out of it kind of thing. You'll get a good price. I guarantee you that.
Well, yeah. So,
But yeah, if you are planning on winding your driveway, let us know, because we'll obviously need to make sure that the curb depression's set properly.
yeah, that's the big thing, prior to. Because I want to widen the front part of the driveway.
Yeah, agent, that seems we can accommodate.
Is that an issue?
If you're widening, there is a maximum 40% of your frontage of your lot. You can't exceed that. So that's something we just have to check with the frontage of your lot with our planning department, and
Sure.
we'll let you know how wide you can go.
Okay.
So master it up. Like you say, you don't want to have to come back and cut curb later on.
No.
Contract, you might as well have it neat and tidy the first time around. So okay.
This is specific to our driveway. We are the only house that has a driveway that goes down. So I see your stocks there to mitigate the runoff, but I'm not really sure how that's gonna work on our driveway. But when I saw that picture of all the gravel on the driveway, we get a huge rain.
Yeah.
And it washes down and it'll come right into our garage. You can think on that.
Think on that, because yeah, you're right. Like, it's without building like a big ramp up and then down here. I'm just trying to think how.
Yeah.
Can't put soccer that driveway. It's gonna work. Yeah, let me think on that one. Yeah.
I see in all the pictures I saw and all the excavations, everything you're doing, it didn't mention anything about current overground services such as hydro, telephone, etc.
We had a good conversation before, yeah.
Okay, well, we're in here for that. I'd like to hear it again.
Yeah.
Because we read it as
6:00.
6:30 was the presentation. So that's what I had on my sheet.
No, it's all.
So,
Putting services, overhead services underground is not part of the scope of this project. That's a Hydro One infrastructure that the town typically hasn't ever done during road reconstruction projects.
Well, this would be a good time to start, wouldn't it?
Right, but I guess there's things to consider. Obviously, there is a cost. Like Hydro won't do that work for free. It'd be the town, and how it works. The town pays for 50% of that cost, which is quite significant. And then we also would have to
How much are we talking?
probably like 300 grand.
We're building a $6 million park just outside of town. We can't afford to put hydro lines underground on our street to make it look like it's 2026 instead of 1996.
It's not what the town's done in the past.
I know they have.
We are exploring options.
We'll set a precedent here, so.
Is it like I said though, because then are we gonna go forward and push all hydro underground for the entire like downtown area?
When you're redoing a complete street like ours,
You
yeah.
phase it in.
When you completely got the ground open, everything's ready, that would be the time to do it. Not after it's been done and then 10 years later come and say, okay, now we're gonna put the services underground. That wouldn't make
No,
sense.
I understand like the sense behind that. Again, it's hydro infrastructure property though, so they would be doing the work separate from the town. And they won't do that work at the same time our contractors in there.
So they would be trenching then. Would it be done after.
Likely they would be drilled and it'd be done after.
Whiteman did a great job putting all the cable underground without any great difficulties whatsoever.
And that's the same process that would happen.
Well, then tell them to do that.
Well,
Listen,
That's our area.
if you stand on Greenwood and look down our street, you swear you're in a third world country. There's wires going across the road all over the place. It looks like hell. Now, we'd like to increase the value of our property rather than decrease the value. You talked about making it up to a certain standard. That's the standard we'd like to have, like all the rest of the town has. That's been built here since 1973.
but that's not entirely true because the sister streets, like Jim said, were reconstructed in what, 2015?
Maybe 2012 through 2015. It was a multi-year project on like 7 different streets. And the hydro was not part of the scope again, and it is still above ground to this day.
I know, but we didn't live there, so I couldn't come here and make a presentation to you wanting them buried there. If I'd lived up there, I would have had the same problem.
But when we put money away for our infrastructure and our asset management, like we're showing the water and sewer mains, we have that money in reserves, which was one of the funding sources that we're using as reserves for water and sewer on that end of it. We don't have anything set aside for hydro because it is not our utility or our infrastructure. So hydro is working on a cost for us, but it'll be at least June before they have that back. So like I mentioned earlier, SBA has worked some numbers for us, and it's anywhere between 7,000 and 14,000 per home. So what we've had in the past, requests for additional parking, upgrading streets, that sort of thing, over and above what our policy is. Our treasurer and the CAO have said that we could do like an area-specific development charge over a 5-year period that the resident would pay for if they absolutely want to have that. Because it is not town infrastructure, it's not our cost, it's something that Hydro should be paying for. So if the wish is to go ahead with it now, then there would have to be an area-specific development charge back to each home that's paid over that 5-year period that goes on your taxes. So
the town, under their official plan, only has new subdivisions with the undergrounding. So that means that the heritage homes, the existing streets prior to the, as you're telling me at this point, prior to the design criteria for the official plan, only for the new homes. So we're going to bear the brunt of all this wiring, all these cables, 2 poles, as you pointed out to me at one point, that are there. So why is the town not specifically looking at that?
again, because it's not our infrastructure.
No, it can be.
We have no investment in Hydro One, the poles, the lines, or anything else. We don't see any revenue from Hydro One, and we don't expect to put any revenue into theirs. We wouldn't expect them to kick in for our water sewer replacement for the street either.
So who pays for the poles when they need to be replaced?
That's Hydro One, 100%.
They do? Okay. But the
It's
other
all
thing
their
is,
costs for their-
so when a new
their revenue.
subdivision goes in, who puts the undergrounding in?
That's Hydro One again.
They do.
Yeah.
So they can do it for that.
The developer.
It's, the cost goes to the developer, but it's Hydro One that.
And typically there is a cost sharing agreement with developers, so they do some revenue calculation based on a 20-year window. So the developer will upfront that cost to install all the cabling, all the transformers and whatnot. And then as new homes come online, Hydro One reimburses the developer for those costs. But they don't, it's not 100%. They don't get 100% back. There's certain costs, like all the trenching, all the civil work, that is the cost of the developer. It's really just for the infrastructure, so the material labor to do all of that. The conduit and duct bank stuff like that.
Has council been informed of the,
Yes, every member of council, and we've had one-on-one discussions with the mayor, and a couple of the other councilors as well, that have come in and brought it up as well. So we've explained it to them and they understand it. And once we put it in the context of what historically has been done, like up in the north end, up on Sister Street.
We're trying to make history.
well,
But
it's
it's
an
at the cost
improvement.
of the taxpayer, all the taxpayers of Shelburne. Though.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate that, yeah.
What I always get requested
Listen, I've been paying for cleaning the sidewalks in this town for how many years? I haven't had a sidewalk. Have I got my taxes reduced because I don't have a sidewalk? I don't have the option of putting my leaves out in the road so they can come along with the scoops and put them in trucks. I have to bag them and put them out all the time. I'm paying for bags and everything. People in town with curbs get it picked up free. So I've been paying for other people's uses, so I just expect them to now pay me back for the hydro.
Well, I think it's what the town wants. You're trying to attract business and you've got your downtown core and the existing residential area, all now bearing the power lines and the cable lines that are there. I mean, Andrew Street, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, to see those 100-foot poles in front of their houses there. So, I mean, it's the overall look.
Infrastructure, it's not the town's again. We have nothing to tell them what to do to put stuff underground or whatever. If they want to come along and put it underground in the future, odds are it'll be directional drilling. We wouldn't allow them to dig our streets up again after we've replaced everything. But that's on Hydro's time then, unless the residents want to upfront the cost. And like I say, do that payment plan over a 5-year period.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And that's not really even tied to what you're doing. That could happen anytime. If somebody the street just decided that that's what they wanted.
Yeah,
because you're saying it's not gonna happen at the same time as the construction.
Yeah, it's on Hydro's
Yeah.
time there.
Yeah.
But the letter to council, it didn't go to council. It just went to individual. They have been informed.
Was it ever on the agenda?
No, it went to every single councilor. I emailed it to them myself. So
Yeah, I know, but they didn't have a council meeting.
How about it?
that was the instruction, but the CAO said email it out to all the councils so they have it, so.
Really? So a letter addressed to a mayor and council and
It did
all
go to every
council
member of
members.
council and the mayor, deputy mayor, everybody.
So that's
As well as all
outside
senior management.
of a council meeting.
It was never showed up on any agendas I looked at.
No, it went directly to council.
And yet it says,
So every member.
yeah, you have a
council
section of a
received-
council meeting that says correspondence. Isn't that correspondence? Shouldn't that have been on the agenda for
Legally,
correspondence?
yeah.
Like I say, that was my instruction, was to send it out.
I'm not blaming you personally, I'm not blaming you.
Well, I know what your instruction is, but I'm kind of wondering what's going on here.
But like I say, there's nothing underhand about it. Every member of council did receive it and received it immediately.
Yeah, but they
Emailed
didn't
right to-
receive it through the official form. There should have been a council. It should
was
have been addressed at a council meeting.
I received that, went to council, it wasn't on any particular form. It was a handwritten letter that I received, sent to council.
Well, I find
Because it wasn't addressed to you, it was addressed to council.
mayor and members of council, and it never showed up on
And
any
it went
agenda.
directly to them, so.
But you did that.
Yes, that was my instructions, was to send it directly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that is your instruction, but I'm just sort of seeing another problem here with council. the way they've addressed it. Okay, thank
And
you.
then back to the hydro again, like I mentioned earlier, even if hydro does come in and puts those utilities underground, their portion of it, they do have agreements with other utilities such as Rogers, Bell, and those utilities can remain on the pole until those companies decide that they're gonna do their underground work or put things underground as well.
So
The
we could have
the hydro
two,
poles are just cut off and,
yes,
which is similar to the one across the road, and I believe Alice has got a picture of that one there too, so.
and there's one on Rintoul Crescent and Greenwood. There's two here.
We
So
did
are
have-
we going to have two poles?
What do you mean?
Is that what you're saying? Because could be for the
if they
communication for
went
the cable.
underground with it, they could just cut them off and leave them, they wouldn't install another pole.
Yeah, that's what I
If
mean.
hydro decides that they're gonna come in and replace the poles, because we did let them know on our survey when we were looking at the street that the poles were weathered and cracked, so we did get hold of hydro and let them know that. If they decide they're gonna just replace the poles then that would, at odds are, they would transfer it over at that point, because there's another pole to go to. It'll be very close to where it is, we've had that in other, projects in town as well.
So you're gonna clutter it up.
Yeah, they could leave the other one there cut off.
So that's the legal landscape that we're going to get.
Again, it's not the town's infrastructure, so we have no say in that. Hydro pole, their cables, anything, so.
Okay, how about street lighting? What kind of street lighting are we getting this time? Are we just gonna get the same?
It's LED lighting that's going in.
So they are gonna replace the ones we have now? It'll be a little bit,
No, they're just gonna be the same. Well, they're just gonna be on the hydro pole, aren't
they're
they?
gonna be on.
Same. So they're LED, they're not gonna be dark sky compliant or anything like that. They are gonna be dark sky? Okay.
Yeah.
That's improvement. But how high?
Where the existing one.
It'll be with,
Yeah,
I see.
We're gonna have the sidewalks, we're gonna have the poles, we're gonna have the hydrants, we're gonna have everything on the north
Yeah.
side.
and if hydro does go underground, then that puts another cost to the town down the road, because we will have to install specific streetlight poles to hang the fixtures on as well, so that's another cost that comes to the town that we didn't include in this either, but I believe that was
But it's an
estimated at about
improvement.
$80,000 additional. Yeah, so.
That's considered an improvement to what's happening.
And it would only be
There's a
if hydro
cost to
was going
everything, but what
underground.
it is, it's a cost to save. Really?
Again, like poles are already there, we can reuse the same poles, there isn't that cost there, but if hydro does decide they're going underground in the future, or they want to traditional drill it, then there are some other issues they're gonna have to come up with, like the other providers that are on the poles, and then we are gonna have to install street lights at 45-meter intervals, I believe is our design criteria. So every 45 meters will be a pole with a light on it again, so it's not like you're gonna get rid of the poles altogether. There would still be streetlight poles, so.
Okay, right now, there's a hydrant at the very end, on the street, on both ends. It's like, all we're gonna have at the end again. Is that the same? Will it be exactly the same again when we're done? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Hmm?
quiet.
Well, I've
It's a very clear presentation, and obviously there are issues about burying things, and we've had it answered for all the reasons that they can't do it. So it's all very clear. No need for me to ask a question.
actually, they can do it if there's a will,
Why he was asking.
you know.
Well, what they said is, in the end, you'd be paying for it.
No, you don't have to. I mean, it depends on the town. They have reserves that they can sort of look at, and it's up to them. They have official plans, and I'm thinking that maybe legally that we are covered under the official plan. But anyhow, it seems that it hasn't even gone to a council meeting. It's gone to individual council, so it's never really
It was really
discussed.
discussed at the meeting then, or
Well,
legally.
if they received it as an email and they read it, and anybody
that's
on
not-
council wanted to bring it up in a meeting, they could have done that.
Yeah, but that's not the legal way when it
You get the
goes.
They get an agenda and they stick to the agenda. You don't start bringing things up on your own in council. It should have been on their agenda as correspondence received and then discuss it.
The project did go to council through the budget process, so they were aware of this project coming up over the last number of years. Because it does go into a budget book, and we've added up we usually do a 5-year forecast on capital. So it's been in there for a number of years that council's been aware that this is the direction we're going to urbanize this street. After this, we do have just a few other streets left. Mill Street in town, Industrial and Centennial over in the industrial area, but that's going to be a ways down the road. Like Blake mentioned earlier, we do have a number of some funding sources that we're pulling from, gas tax, OCIF funding, which we've been saving up over the last 5 years. And you can save that money for a major project with the increments that we do get annually, but you have to use it in the 5th year. That's this year. So we have to do it this year. And we're estimating just by the numbers we have on our forecasting what the cost is going to be without having the RFPs come back from the contractors. You have to know what the final cost is going to be. We're still going to end up borrowing 1.3 million in borrowing. So with the sister street projects that were done a number of years ago, they've been on the books as a loan that the town's had out for a number of years now. This year is the last year for that, so it's taken some coordination with our treasurer. As soon as those come off, we'll have Pinegrove go back on for the 1.3 million, or hopefully a little less than that, but we'll have to see what the final numbers finally come back at. So there will be a loan out for this as well as the funding opportunities that we have. So it's not like everything is in there in reserves. There is for the water main, sewer, and I believe some for storm that we have coming out of reserves there. But there is still going to be a cost that we're going to have to borrow for the project to get it done. So.
Everyone, anything else?
Well,
Since the final presentation is finished, we're going to stop the recording. At this time, you can still have conversations and ask questions for those in the room, but we are going to stop the recording at this time.